So today we're joined by James Berg, who is a content expert and has just published a new book called The 104 Social Media Content Ideas to Increase Sales. And we were going to do this interview actually just sitting down in our boardroom, but actually talking about content and social media and fun and enjoying it. I've challenged James to a game of ping pong, so we'll see how we get on. So James, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited to talk about content and in particular this four-part solution that we're going to explore. But if we just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and your background and what made you write the book.
Yeah, so I've worked in social media content related roles for the last few years. My dad works a lot with small businesses and I've got a lot of friends that work in smaller businesses. And I was basically just having it where as I worked with bigger businesses, it takes quite a long time to get certain things done.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to concentrate on this at the same time. Trying to get tweets out, trying to get content posted, like it's got to go through a lot of processes.
Yep.
And I started having it where a lot of friends and family members of smaller businesses were just asking me for, have you got an idea how I could do this? How could I do this on social media?
Yeah.
And I just started realizing that I had a few ideas and things to give them. So through many different iterations, at one point it was a guide, at one point it was a kind of vlog series, there's all different ways of doing it. I eventually came up with this book. So the plan was never actually to write a book. The plan was to help people come up with simple content ideas and just enjoy using social media.
Yeah.
And then it just happens to be that the end product was the book. So I've got a four-part solution, which is what I'm talking to different people about at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think it all starts with plan. So another word for a plan is a strategy. What happens with social media, and it goes back to the kind of GIF or meme thing.
Yeah.
It's knowing there's so much types of content, there's so many different things you could be doing. And I think people feel like they need to do everything.
Yeah.
They need to feel like they should be live streaming, they need to be blogging, they need to be...
Yeah, for sure.
And it's kind of like, if you know who you are and what your strategy is, you don't need to do everything. And I mean, a good example that always comes up is people go, oh, I don't like to see people's meals on Facebook. Why do people put pictures up of what they're eating?
Yeah.
Then what I would say is, okay, but is that person a food blogger? Have they got their own restaurant? Because if it's someone who's involved in the food trade, actually, they need to be showing me they know food.
For sure. I think also it's about where your audience hangs around. So if you're a photographer, Instagram, potentially is one for you. And like if you're targeting businesses, then LinkedIn. But it's not about being everywhere, like you're saying, right? So that moves us nicely on to point two, which is stealing inspiration.
Yeah, so I always make sure to word this one properly, because when I say steal to people, sometimes they think I'm saying you should go and rob from other people's ideas. But the stealing inspiration is the key part. And what you said then, it's that you're taking the thinking behind what someone did and then you're applying it to your own business.
For sure.
For example, and I was telling you just before this actually about my friend that did the design time lapse. So one of my friends creates logos. He's actually the one who designed the book for me.
Oh, amazing.
And he put a great post up the other day, which was a time lapse of his process. So he was designing a logo for someone and he had he had an image, video, going on his computer.
Amazing.
And it just took a video of from the beginning to the end of his development of someone's logo.
Yeah.
So what that then showed me was that, okay, this guy's not just pulling something, when I don't know as much about design, it showed me the whole process, all the thinking and why he's an expert. So I then saw that and thought, okay, he's done a thing of that, I don't do design, but I could easily do a time lapse of me writing social media posts for someone.
Yeah.
And I say to people, you've got to have a good stealing net. So you've got to know where to steal from so that you're not just stealing from everywhere, but once you know that plan and that strategy, it allows you to then steal ideas from different people.
So once someone has the ideas and content sort of down, how do they make sure that they're consistent with posting? Because that's the most important part, right?
Yeah, and definitely. And that goes back to what we said earlier about people feeling maybe a bit anxious or putting themselves under pressure that they need to be posting. And leads quite nicely onto my third solution, which is schedule. One thing that most people don't know, and it's probably the biggest takeaway of everything I say, is schedule your posts. There's free tools where you could sit down and as you type on social media normally, instead of typing at 10 o'clock at night when people might be not online or when you're not feeling, you had a long day and going, I need to write some posts, you can then write them at Saturday morning, spend 2 hours and get the next 3 weeks worth of posts going. So these free scheduling tools, I just tell everyone and anyone I can about, because what it allows you to do, and if you know your plan, so you know what your strategy is, you know what type of things you're posting to achieve.
Yep.
If you've stolen some ideas, doing the scheduling allows you to do quality posts every now and then. And I think that when I say to people, if you post once every 2 weeks, you're still going to stay relevant.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose out on business from not posting.
Yeah.
But by doing the scheduling, and the stage I'm at now with when I said to you I was crawling in my business and I'm starting to walk now, I'm at a stage now where I can sit down at the beginning of the month and schedule all my posts for that month, which then means that it doesn't mean I can sit back and do nothing.
Yeah, of course.
But it does mean that on social media, that's covered.
So the business that we're talking about in our minds, they've got their strategy.
They know what they're posting.
They've come up with the content with the inspiration.
Yeah.
They've scheduled it, so they've got that covered with consistency. Engagement, you talked about that there. So going in and tweeting and talking.
So that's the biggest part of all of this, and that's something which I don't necessarily promote through the book, but the book allows you to do, if that makes sense. So what I'm promoting through the book is having the plan, how to steal ideas, and how to schedule. But what that allows you to do, and what people are starting to find is this is what really makes me happy when I see people from the book doing this, is it's putting the social back into social media. So when you're not going at 10 o'clock at night, I've got to post, or after a long day, I can't be bothered. What you're doing instead, and what I'm doing now, because all my posts are still scheduled, I'm still on social media on my train on the way in, the train on the way back.
Of course.
But what I do in that time is now, instead of trying to write a post on the phone, I'm responding to people who've left me reviews. I'm going and finding some new followers through the hashtags they use, and I'm part of quite a few small business groups online, and if someone puts out a question, I'm responding to them, giving them some help.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, that when social media started off, people spoke to each other, they shared things, and just through too much advertising, through all different factors and society pressures, people are starting to go, I shouldn't post that. And I always say, kind of look at the older generation, the people that will share everything, that will comment on each other's things, that will chat with each other. And I just think for so many people, that's important.
Amazing. So just to recap, the 4-part solution, you've got
plan, so that's know your strategy. Steal, which is stealing your inspiration from other people that do it well. Schedule, which is using one of the free scheduling tools, which I realised I didn't actually mention what they are, which is Hootsuite or Buffer.
Yeah, amazing.
Use one of those to schedule your posts. And then the final part, which is where you want to be, is engaging. It's just have human conversations with people. And that point for me is where you can enjoy using it. There's nothing better than me going, would anyone like me to help their business? Or has anyone got an idea for this? Getting response, they help me, I help them. Everyone wins, everyone's happy.
100%. So if people that are watching this want to connect with you, potentially ask you some questions, where can they find you?
So my Twitter and Instagram are JB_Picaroons, which is Picaroons. And then on Facebook, it's Picaroons.
Amazing.